During that investigation, I find the Jeffrey Epstein case. Well, the Jeffrey Epstein case, of course, takes me into a whole different direction, because not only are we now talking about a man who is a very wealthy American man. He is a hedge fund manager. He, at the time, was a well-known Wall Street financier, worth allegedly $2 billion. And his case, when I started to investigate, had over 24 kids that had reported to the police sexual abuse by him and by a number of procurers. One of the alleged procurers, her name is Ghislaine Maxwell, she procured underage girls for Epstein. And she is friendly enough where she was invited to Chelsea Clinton's wedding. Another enormous red flag was raised by the number of politicians that Epstein donated. Epstein is a very generous donor. He's a very generous donor to the Democratic Party, that he donated over $3.5 million to the Clintons. And according to one report, he donated $50,000 to Hillary Clinton in 2006. This was after his indictment.
Really?
Yes. Why did she not return it?
Mm-hmm. Hillary, I have to ask you a question that has been plaguing me for a while. How did you kill Jeffrey Epstein?
A politician has to be very concerned with where their donations are coming from, because they will come back to bite them. I think that is why the Department of Justice under George Bush II administration, when Alberto Gonzales was the Attorney General, I think that's why they silenced the case. And in fact, when I spoke to Attorney General Gonzales, I mean, this seemed like an open and shut case. Why did you negotiate? And you know what his answer was? We didn't want to make a political mess.
When I first interviewed Conchita Sarnoff in 2015, she was one of the first intrepid journalists to pursue the Epstein story, when no mainstream media would touch it. But she was not the only one finding roadblocks.
I've had the story for 3 years. I've had this interview with Virginia Roberts. We would not put it on the air. First of all, I was told, who's Jeffrey Epstein? No one knows who that is. This is a stupid story. Then the palace found out that we had her whole allegations about Prince Andrew and threatened us in a million different ways. We were so afraid we wouldn't be able to interview Kate and Will that also quashed the story. And then Alan Dershowitz was also implicated in it because of the planes. She told me everything. She had pictures. She had everything. She was in hiding for 12 years. We convinced her to come out. We convinced her to talk to us. It was unbelievable what we had. Clinton. We had everything. I tried for 3 years to get it on, to no avail, and now it's all coming out, and it's like these new revelations, and I freaking had all of it. I'm so pissed right now. Like, every day I get more and more pissed because I'm just like, oh my God, what we had was unreal.
When Epstein was finally arrested on federal sex trafficking charges in 2019, we were told he killed himself in his cell while on suicide watch.
Routine activities inside of the jail was what you practice, and that's how the guy got time to hang himself.
And the guards just mysteriously went to sleep.
They were not asleep.
They were profoundly overworked. I mean, I think we know that.
But in the end, he obviously didn't kill himself, just like Jeffrey Epstein. Shut up. I know he's your friend, but I don't care.
The death of Jeffrey Epstein was the red pill moment for millions of people. A reported billionaire with powerful benefactors who used hidden cameras to potentially blackmail his elite clients, some of whom he flew to a private island on his so-called Lolita Express.
He was released in July. Within months, by December of 2010, you went to stay with him at his New York mansion. Why? Why were you staying with a convicted sex offender?
Right. I have always... ever since this has happened, and since this has become, as it were, public knowledge that I was there, I've questioned myself as to why did I go, what was I doing, and was it the right thing to do? And that was the conversation, coincidentally, that was photographed, which was when I said to him, I said, look, because of what has happened, I don't think it is appropriate that we should remain in contact. And by mutual agreement during that walk in the park, we decided that we would part company, and I left, I think it was the next day.
You said you went to break up the relationship, and yet you stayed at that New York mansion several days. I'm wondering how long.
But I was doing a number of other things while I was there.
But you were staying at the house of
Yes.
a convicted sex offender.
It was a convenient place to stay.
When I went and looked at Edge.org, which you can find out was a multi-billionaire club of people that was financed by Jeffrey Epstein. You can go to Edge.org today, look up under people, and go to G. You'll see Bill Gates on there as a contributing member of that organization. Marina Abramovich is on there. Paul Allen was on there. All the heads of major industries were on there. These people don't give a shit about anybody, and they get up there and they smile in front of you, and they are infiltrated throughout all of our institutions, including government. They own the politicians, right and left. What we are going to find out very soon is that there aren't Democrats and Republicans in the United States government. There's a unified cabal of controlled people who serve these powers, and they keep the theater going for you and I to run back and forth and vote every 4 years.
The centerpiece of Epstein's island looks like a temple and features a grand piano, which leaves one imagining eyes wide shut parties. Until all the clues and witnesses come out, the Epstein case leaves more questions than answers.